Well, hello, y'all. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'm going to have to speak up a little loud. We're at the corner of Cypress Center Drive, next to El Sombrero and the Holiday Inn, right here by the frontage road. I have to speak kind of loud because we're close to Highway 61, main thoroughfare that comes through here. Well, actually, it's I-20, 61's on down a little further. So y'all know what I mean. Just want to bring up a fact of some lost history we have here. Well, we consider it lost history because nobody's taking care of it. And people know it's here. We have the Harrises here, Reverend George Harris, Lizzie Harris. And people thinking, oh, that was back in the 1800s. Actually, the Reverend was buried in 1958. Miss Harris was buried in 1941. We have a Henry Harris. He was a cook with the 420th Reserve Labor Battalion. Doesn't have a date of death. It says October 24th, 1936. Is that when he died? Is that when he was born? It's the only date that's on there. There's some other stones here. There's the fifth one, which is right there. It's just nobody cares. It's just like, okay, well, they're dead. Who cares? Well, we do. I mean, is that what's going to happen to me when I die? You're just going to throw me off in a ditch, slap a concrete stone there, 20, 30 years later come in and bulldoze it over or let the weeds take it over? I mean, this is history. I mean, people, some of these people probably fought and, died, for what we believe in, being the South. They fought in the Civil War. I mean, this whole entire city, this whole area was under siege. This is a battlefield. This is where the Civil War was. I mean, where's history going? I mean, I know when I was growing up, we had to take Mississippi history. We took the Civil War very seriously. And we learned. Why? Because if you learn from your history not to repeat it. But it's like, well, let's not worry about that since it was so far ago. Let's only pick up from like World War I, World War II. And I guarantee you people really don't know that much about it. We're going to repeat it. If we don't learn from it, we're going to repeat everything that just happened. Because I always say, history repeats itself. If you learn from it, learn from your mistakes, you're not going to repeat it. I mean, not only right here, but there's a little bluff over here. There's 4 or 5 tombstones that I can just see just from the road. Then you got some that are probably down here in this little gorge. Probably some on the backside that I can't even see. Probably have been knocked over, fallen over with erosion. The ground can't hold the stones up anymore. There's no telling how many bodies are out here. There's no telling if there was bodies over here by the Holiday Inn or by the El Sombrero. And it doesn't make any sense. It's like, we're going to knock all this out of the way to put up, some kind of a business and somebody can make a buck. I mean, why do that? A biker waving at me. Nice bike, by the way, BMW. But it's like they don't care. They want to make a dollar. Let's make a quick dollar. Let's bring it in here. That's fine. Bring in the dollar. Why not use this to attract visitors? Be like, well, we got the Holiday Inn, but we got something else. We got a graveyard out here that's right out front of our business. Don't make it spooky. Build it up. Put a nice wrought iron fence around it. Take care of it. Put some ryegrass on it. Make the grass green. Take care of something that can't take care of itself. But we don't care anymore. Or at least some of us don't. I do. I'm sure the people that's going to be watching this video, there's a few of y'all be like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But I'll tell you what, this ain't going to be the last one because I'm going to do a follow-up and I'm going to find out more because I know that there's more graveyards around here. Matter of fact, there's one up the road here about a half a mile or so that actually sits between the frontage road and I-20, sitting right there. What's the point of that? I mean, just put the cars, let them go around it. Do we know who's buried there? Somebody does. And we're going to find out. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Well, we came to the park and we actually had a little bit of information, or gathered a little bit of information about the cemetery. It's possibly an African-American cemetery. And we were directed to the Jacqueline home and also the courthouse, the old courthouse museum. And we're going to go up there and we're going to try to get in touch with some people and find out, a little bit more than what we found out. But the gentleman we spoke to, he was more than helpful with what he knew, and it actually gave us a little bit more, headway. So we're gonna follow up some more. We're at the old courthouse museum in Vicksburg. See if we get some information. We're at the courthouse museum. I don't even think I caught your name.
Marlene Brooks.
Miss Marlene Brooks. And she actually wrote this book.
Recorded, yeah, the cemetery.
Back in the 80s. Came to the right place. And the cemetery that we were looking for was Jonestown Cemetery. And it was known as Tate Street before it became Cypress Center. Right there in front of El Sombrero and the Holiday Inn. And it says that she recorded this in March of '86. And the condition is poor, and it's deteriorated since. But coming up, we found Miss Lizzie Harris, and it's spot on, 1941. And there was a Reverend Harris, here he is, Reverend George Harris. Wow, he died on his birthday. He was born October 30th of 1876, and he died October 30th of 1958. It's not good. So, is there anything else that you maybe can fill us in of what the cemetery was like back then, or has it changed much? Or?
Well, it's just gotten worse since then. I mean, you know, I know over the years that the city or other people have tried to come in and salvage it, clean it up, whatever, write the names of the families down, but I don't know what has become of it. You know,
right.
We all have a lot of good intentions that never pan out.
Do you think maybe going to the Jacqueline home, like with this was an African cemetery, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, an African American cemetery. So, do you think maybe going to the Jacqueline home, maybe they could?
It might.
Have some insight of who we might be able to talk to. Maybe get some strings pulled, get some people out there.
It's another lady in town that does a lot of work with the African American cemeteries, and her name is Karen Fredericks.
I know her.
She may be able to help you.
Huh?
She has ties with the Bueller Cemetery too.
Right, she does. She does. She's done a lot to help that cemetery.
So these guys, like this guy, 1971. Wow. Well, wow, this one. Willie Thomas, Sergeant, U.S. Army, World War II, died in 1981. So that was only 5 years before he went out there. Wow.
Like I said, you know, some of them were
85, 1 year.
Yeah.
So
it was still in use when I was there, but
yeah.
It wasn't in much better condition, you know, and I think it was the way maybe they were buried on those hills to start with.
Right.
And down in the lower part of that. And, you know, I think maybe when they put in the Dixie Plaza Shopping Center,
right.
I don't know what that did to the washing or the...
Right, because see, that's what we were looking at was, it's just a big wash-off down there, and with all the sewage drains coming from the roads, they're just like, oh, we'll just let it wash off in this hole.
Yeah.
And you have graves down there. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, we need to find somewhere to preserve it. I mean, it is history. And it's like I said before, you know, when we were filming, it was... if we don't teach history, we're going to repeat all these bad things that we're doing.
Right.
And it's like things I'm sure that you learned in history when you were going to school was different from what I learned in history, because they're slowly but surely going, well, we don't need to teach that so far.
That's right.
You know, no, well, that's not important. You know, they're not teaching Mississippi history, you know, as much as they used to. I mean, I know I can probably go up to somebody 5 years younger than me and ask them something about World War II that I learned. You know, that wasn't like, well, this is something you might just want to learn. You don't have to pay attention to it. Now, this is like, okay, this is going to be on the test. You better learn it. And they won't know what it is. You know, something simple. You know, be like, oh, well, when was Pearl Harbor? You know, and they won't be able to tell me that. You know, and it's ridiculous. It's like, why not learn history?
You see, you know, you wonder if they still have family even in the city or...
Right. I mean, it's something important that you need to learn about. And, I mean, if the city, and I guess this is where I'm really getting at, the city, I don't want to say it's dying, but if you think back 10, 15 years ago, what do we have here? You know, the city was a little bit bigger than what it was. It seemed like it was to me. Okay, maybe because I was younger and I was smaller, but this city is all about history. It had a major role. It played a major role in the Civil War. You know, I mean, think if Vicksburg wasn't fallen.
Right.
Okay, how would history be different now? Okay, and if they want to attract tourists and they want to bring money into the city and make it bigger than what it is, why not take care of these cemeteries? Why not take care of the historical references that we have here, the historical buildings? Take better care of them You know, and that would attract more tourists than what you have now.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we still have tourists coming in, going to these parks, coming to the courthouse museum. But think if you could have, like, in front of El Sombrero and Holiday Inn, you had this cemetery, wrought iron fence around it, the graves are taken care of, the grass was cut, the flowers are there.
Right.
Maybe these soldiers, you could recognize them on Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have like maybe school groups go out and put flags out in reference to them. Boy Scout groups, you know, the Daughters of the Confederacy, you know, things of
Right.
that nature. Going out and taking care of these places. I mean, it doesn't cost much. You know, it's like, hey, let's get these little paper flags that you see. No, right there.
Right.
Go on and place them out there. You can probably buy a whole box of those, $10.
1 minute.
1 minute left. All right. Well, I appreciate your help. Thank you, man.
Thank you for being interested.